Hello, UTU Trust Guardians, and welcome to the first UTU update of 2022. And for our Asian friends out there, happy Lunar New Year. I'm Mike, your Chief Commercial Officer, and I'm here with our CEO, Jason. What's going on, Jason? And our CTO, Bastian. What's up, Bastian?
Hey.
And in today's episode, we're primarily going to talk about our roadmap update for 2022 and everything we have in store for this year. Lots going on, lots to build, and a lot of community initiatives as well. So before we jump in, let's just say how things been going lately. What's been going on, guys?
Yeah. A lot of work as always, but I think great stuff has been going on. We shall hear about it in a moment, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's been a great start to the year. All of the sort of like strategic thinking that happens at the beginning and end of a year, where the team comes together, re-examines everything, questions our approach, questions the tactics, and looks at what are the lessons from the last year. There's just always an interesting period of sort of growth and learning that happens at the beginning of the year. And so it's been cool. We're no exception. You know, we've been doing some strategic focus conversations, and that's been a lot of fun to engage on. So
yeah, just always have to think about that stuff. You know, take in how the landscapes change, some of the problems that have popped up, and always try to position yourselves to solve those problems. So, all right, jumping into the roadmap. So Bastian, why don't we start with you? Let's go over the product updates that are coming up soon. Then we'll dig into our initiatives for the rest of the year. All right, Bastian, go for it.
Yeah, sure, thanks. So we are finally putting some final touches on the testnet release, mostly concerning the Oracle, which informs the UTU Trust token smart contract, which endorses to rewards. And unfortunately, our lead smart contract and Oracle developer caught COVID in the meantime, so that delayed us a bit, sort of at the wrong moment. But yeah, we are sending our best wishes, of course, for a quick recovery, and indeed it looks already better. So things are getting back on track, and hopefully release is coming really soon now. Then we are continuing our work with Ocean Protocol on milestone 2 and 3. So that's the new milestones 2 and 3, because we had this replanning of the project. Milestone 2 is still about designing our trust signals, which will go directly into the ocean market. There was a bit of iterations on that, and so we have restructured that milestone a bit. It has now 2 parts. So this is about the design. The implementation will come later. Milestone 3 is about extending the definition of in your network. That's work that we sort of moved up. That was originally planned for after this project. But yeah, as we had explained earlier, Ocean requested for this to be done right now. And that also should generally improve our trust signals. And the good thing about that is that it overlaps to a good part with what we are building also for the testnet, particularly the social media connectors. So that's quite awesome. Then we are also in the process of reworking UTUCoin reward scheme for earning UTT. And generally applying the Web3 sustainability loop model that was sort of written up by Trent McConaughey from Ocean Protocol as well. It's a pretty interesting article. If you don't know it, it's on his blog. So yeah, just Google Web3 sustainability loop and you will find it, I guess. So yeah, that will be explained in depth in a coming white paper update soon, TM. Well, okay, and then we just got word that the final acceptance, user acceptance testing phase for our first model powering the creditworthiness API for our peer-to-peer lending platform, Client Jump Borrow, was finished successfully. So this should go live now any moment.
And not like any moment, like now, right? I don't need to like No, it's true. It's been a long
Yeah.
project with Jambaro. It's been great. It's been a super cool process of getting to understand how our tech can really help drive access to finance across the continent. Jambaro, if you haven't checked them out, their model is super cool, and they're really opening a lot of doors to financial services for really across Africa. And yeah, the work with Ocean is great, and not just the work we're doing directly with them, but also the support we've gotten from them and from Trent on remodeling a bit the token model, as Bastian mentioned. And we think that the update coming is really going to add even more value to the UTU coin, UTU Trust Token ecosystem as an incentive mechanism to basically support the value proposition of better trust and privacy and transparency. So the core UTU value prop. So yeah, lots going on.
Yeah, I'm super excited about how we work with Jambaro and how we are going to launch this creditworthiness API with them, because I think being kind of in the center of being in Africa, where there's really a revolution going on in the way that the citizens are accessing credit and the different models of lending that are emerging. I think a lot of people who live in more mature economies really take this stuff for granted. And I think this is just the beginning of our creditworthiness API, really facilitating a lot of lending that probably hasn't existed before. So really super excited to see the impact that has on how lending works in emerging markets. And of course, testnet coming soon, Ocean milestones, all this getting done in Q1. Yeah, lots to come very, very soon. But there are also some community-oriented initiatives that we are going to be pushing out in Q1. Jason, can you talk about those?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, we're going to start opening up our roadmap above and beyond these updates and sort of the roadmap update that we published a couple days ago now. We're going to be publicly laying out sort of what features and products we're looking at building, and you, our community, be able to see, analyze, and vote your preferences, and really help steer the direction of our product development. You think about different sectors that we can support beyond DeFi and finance in general as we grow. You think about different use cases even within sectors. You think about different ecosystems and layer ones that we might want to work in, or even centralized ecosystems that we might want to tap into in the future, and starting to build out that roadmap with you, our community. At the end of the day, this is who we're building for, and let's build it in the places where people actually want it. Even looking at things like what sort of data sources can we bring in, and what sort of signals do we want to see in the places where we use UTU, right? This is meant to be decentralized trust infrastructure for the internet, which means everybody has a role and do justice to that. So beyond just the open roadmap, we're going to start creating bounties where developers can help us build those products, and community members can help us spread the word and be compensated for their contributions. We're going to be essentially much more transparent about what's going on behind the scenes and get the community much more involved sort of on our steady path to increased decentralization. So yeah, cool stuff coming up on the community engagement side.
Yeah, certainly. I think so. A lot of the stuff that we're, not all of the stuff that we're talking about the products that we're building, the features that we're building, I think there's going to be a way to get the community involved in all of it, whether it's a matter of just getting feedback on what to build, how to build it, or getting developers in our community to be able to help build it, which I think Bastian would absolutely be jazzed about, and taking some of the development load off his team, and accelerating the development of our protocol or API product. So so Bastian, why don't you tell us about what is coming up in Q2 in terms of our product development?
Sure. So yeah, after we thoroughly test the initial version of our testnet, and probably having some iterations there, we'll launch it to mainnet and get it out into the wild, the real wild. Yeah, that will be pretty exciting. But then, of course, we'll still add features over time to testnet, such as preliminary version for privacy preserving endorsements, which will be a bit tricky, and data usage rights controls. We're also looking into several possible collaborations on that one. And yeah, so you can be sure that your data is shared in the way that you want it to be shared, or rather not to be shared. It's that it's not to be shared in the way that you don't want it to be shared is more important in that respect. So yeah, as mentioned earlier, we're also reworking the UTU coin rewards for UTU Trust token mechanism, and we'll also start implementing that almost immediately on the testnet first, of course, but also maybe in a separate simulator, and to start experimenting with the mechanism and parameters. That will be another point, hopefully, of community engagement. And then we'll continue to work on the Ocean integration, updating our trust signals to support their version 4 release, which is still coming up, and directly integrate these signals into Ocean's community signals widget on the Ocean market. So that will be technical Q2.
Yep. Jason,
yeah, I think Q2 is going to be a bunch of kind of nose to the grindstone engineering, quality assurance, deployment. Mike and I will drink martinis, I suppose, while the engineers work hard. But...
Of course. Yeah, we'll just sit back, I'm sure. Now, yeah, I mean that's obviously. Mainnet is a big reason why we're here, to really get that decentralized protocol, as Bastian said, out into the wild, and get users hands on it. Yeah, I think it's just it's going to be a really, really exciting time, and it's still going to be day zero for us, though, right? It's going to be that's when things really start moving. So. All right, Jason, let's move on to Q3. What's going on in Q3?
Yeah, so after mainnet comes in at the end of Q2, I think I'm really excited looking into Q3 at some of these things that will really improve the protocol and increase our reach across Web3 and the DeFi landscape. So first, we're going to make a big push on integrating more data into UTU protocol so we can deliver better and more trust signals. Our AI models, the more data you feed them with, the better they predict, the more you use them, and they learn from the decisions you make, even that serve you. So this is going to be a very important project, and we'll really call on the community, as I mentioned, to help the universe of data sets and getting them into the protocol and transformed into useful, valuable signals. So we're also going to launch, and this one's really exciting, a browser extension so that you can view any relevant trust signals for DApps that you're using. And this is pretty cool. It's huge in the sense for distribution of our trust signals across many different platforms without necessarily having to directly integrate with those platforms, especially in the decentralized world where lots of things are forks of other things. And so you can build for the lowest common denominator and be able to serve, in many cases, a lot of different platforms with common architectures. And, this is something our board member, David Holtzman, has really encouraged us to look hard at. Distribution models and channels that scale greater than linearly. And I think this is one area where that's very much achievable. So I'm looking forward to the browser extension in Q3. And then we're also going to add the interactive curation of Ocean assets in our DeFi portal and to Ocean Markets community signals. So we'll use all of the trust signal data combined with user ratings and feedback reviews to provide those curated recommendations of relevant data sets and providers. And then I guess finally, we'll launch the initial version of our governance process. So this is very much aligned with the Open Roadmap Initiative and UTU grants and bounties programs mentioned above. So you'll be able to create UTU improvement proposals and discuss them with your fellow trust guardians and eventually vote for what gets implemented. And so, yeah, it's all happening kind of middle of this year. It's really cool.
Yeah, I'm also really excited about this and about our refocusing really on Web3 and the greater independence that we'll get from that, given the interoperative nature of blockchain assets generally and blockchain data, and also via our browser extension. So that will build up more direct connections between UTU and our end users and removing the dependency on intermediaries like our more centralized clients are to a large part. So that will actually enable us to develop our trust mechanism full on in the direction that we and the community envision, and also just generally improve the quality of it. So great stuff from my point of view.
Yeah, same here. You know, I think, of course, a large part of the internet is still Web 2, and you know, our goal is to be the trust infrastructure of the entire internet. But I think, you know, we have a focus now where you know, our values are much aligned with what's going on in Web 3, what's going on in DeFi. The decentralization, the kind of openness of and permissionlessness of Web3. So I think it's a great thing that we're focusing on Web3 now. Build out our competencies there, but eventually we will. You know, and a lot of the problems that we're solving are very much still applicable to Web 2. So we'll get there eventually, but our focus will be on Web3 for now. All right, last but not least, Q4. Bastian, please talk about what's going on towards the end of the year.
Sure. So yeah, Q4 is a bit away, especially in crypto, but we are going to focus on extending UTU to new sectors and platforms based on the experiences that we get. Until then, primary focus will likely be still on Web3 verticals, where bridging the trust gaps is most important. So we continue building out features for data marketplaces like Ocean Big Data Protocol and DeFi apps, like decentralized exchanges and lending platforms. Probably then also at some point yield aggregators and stuff like that, or whatever else DeFi comes up with in the course of the year. Then generally on-chain assets and related Web3 apps, decentralized HR, freelance marketplaces, NFT marketplaces, other marketplaces or other apps might then follow. That may also include product integrations in different ways into crypto wallets themselves, and messaging apps like Telegram and many more. We also extend our SDK to mobile, Android and iOS. And finally, maybe most exciting, we'll extend the UTU dashboard to mobile also, so that you'll be able to track your UTU Trust token and UTU coin balances, make UTU Trust token endorsements, and much more natively on Android and on iOS. We are still scoping out the feature set of that, but in the future, there's even the possibility that this develops maybe into the most trusted full-fledged crypto wallet.
Yeah, I think some of that work coming at the end of the year, there is a lot of opportunity still to shape the feature set of those mobile products. and also, again, to shape the direction we take in terms of which sectors we move into and with what types of signals and data. And yeah, I think when you think about trust infrastructure and deploying it across Web3, you can really think about sort of a few different channels that you can distribute the signals to the end user. You can go through platforms, which has been our approach up till kind of historically. Our main approach has really been through platforms, and that's still very much a part of it. You get exposed to and can support all the transactions on one platform, but really there's so many alternative or opportunities to integrate through other channels, through wallets and decentralized identity providers that maybe give you access to supporting all the transactions across a user's footprint on the web instead of on one platform, or ecosystem integrations that maybe make our product readily accessible to an entire ecosystem of dApps or projects that we think are going to be valuable in the future, as well as through direct products, sort of like the browser extension. So we're broadening our kind of scope of channels that we reach to users, the same time we focus in on DeFi.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, thanks for all your insight into what we're building in 2022. We have got a big year ahead of us, and I cannot wait to see these projects come to fruition. All right, so that is our roadmap. So we did have one partnership this month. We partnered with Blockster, which is a content platform where users can discover, connect, learn, and earn all things crypto. So they've got a large community of over 500,000 users, and we're going to work together to create some informational content about UTU so their users can learn more about us and what we're building, and help increase awareness of UTU within their community and beyond. Talking about community, last but not least, we have our community question. So before recording this update, we asked you, the community, to submit your questions so we can answer them on this video. This question is a great one from When Moonbase on Twitter. So they ask, what is UTU's ultimate dream crypto partnership? Jason, you want to take this one?
Yeah, this one, I think I'd have to go with MetaMask. You just think about the role that they play at the center of the entire Web3 ecosystem, DeFi ecosystem, and the role that they play providing a gateway for users, for many users, the first, for most people or many people, main to the entire Web3 ecosystem. And you just think about how important preventative security is in Web3 comparing to Web2, where you could take things back a lot easier than in Web3, right? And you think about the value that UTU could provide at large scale with a partner like MetaMask. Basically, anytime you're connecting us to a Web3 site, or putting in an address or a token contract, and you're getting that sort of UTU signal just at the right moment before you're about to transact with that contract or address or site, and how many transactions we protect people from and how many good transactions we steer people to. And so I just think about, probably a really nice question, and MetaMask. That would be my dream. We've even done some prototyping of what a UTU MetaMask collaboration could look like. I wonder if that's something that we should share out there.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think you're right. Just the scale of MetaMask and how really it is. There's so many users, and it really is that gateway that facilitates all these transactions across so many application, DeFi applications and other crypto dApps. And I think there's not a day that goes by where somebody is getting scammed for something I think I just saw a recent scam on someone was just airdropping tokens that are called WAVAX, like wrapped AVAX, avalanche tokens to people, and then they're asking people to go to a website, and then they get access to everything in their wallets. So pretty bad stuff going on out there, and so definitely having that trust layer embedded into one of the most used wallets out there would be a pretty awesome collaboration.
Yeah, even even there's such alignment in terms of values and vision on the two projects. So I think that's the exciting thing about it. We'll see. Yeah, so maybe our community can make that happen for us.
Yeah, it'd be cool. All right, great stuff, guys. Jason, Bastian, any parting words before we sign off?
Yeah, I was just going to add that example that you brought, so that's cool, and that's really fresh. I think that happened yesterday with that wrapped AVAX. Yeah, but even my own experience doing various transactions on bridges and stuff showed that oftentimes it's not really that clear which contract you're actually interacting with, etc. From the current UX of many apps. So I think an infrastructure level integration of UTU on like MetaMask would be awesome. Like, okay, could show you, that's a token that so many of your friends have interacted with, so you can be pretty sure that that's the genuine one. Or we could extend our mechanism probably to identify scams somehow, but it's a bit tricky. But it's an interesting problem to think about, because we also don't want to entice people to just sort of randomly disapprove stuff that could be a bit harmful for the ecosystem in total. So always need to keep the incentives in mind. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff, definitely. So yeah, looking really forward to work on that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Any final words before we wrap it up?
I'm good. Pumped for the year ahead. As you can see, we got a lot of work ahead. So
same here. All right, UTU Trust Guardians, that's all we have for you. Hope you enjoyed this roadmap update edition of the UTU update. Stay tuned for more info about our product launches, which we will have an announcement. I'm sorry, a partnership launch that we'll have very soon. Many more partnerships to come. And of course, like we talked about, a lot more community engagement around our roadmap. So please hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons to make sure you don't miss any future videos. Thanks so much. Have a good one and see you soon. Take care, guys. Thanks.